You are Locked On Heat Postcast, part of Locked On Sports Miami on the Locked On Podcast Network. Your team every day.
Oh boy, Heat fan, I wish I had better news for you, but I will say this. Welcome to your Heat Postcast. My name is Jim Grieshaber. Call me Grease. It started out so great. Can't we say that about so many things in life, though? When you started out and everything seems great. That's not really the words of the song, but it felt like it should be, adjusted. Although you never change the words to a Michael Jackson song. I should slap myself for that. Anyway, the Heat should slap themselves for the way they played in the fourth quarter tonight. What a start to the game. Miami playing really well against the best in the West, the Oklahoma City Thunder, on the road in Hickville in the middle of nowhere. Their claim to fame is a giant silo that says it's the home of Garth Brooks. I can't make this up. I drove through it. Anyway, I'll tell you this. Your Miami Heat played great for three quarters tonight. They owned the Oklahoma City Thunder on the road in a hostile environment. They showed you with these additions with Andrew Wiggins, with Davion Mitchell, and to a lesser degree with Ryan Anderson. They showed you the new look team. Bam Adebayo asserting himself, looking real good. And then came the fourth quarter. And we don't want to talk about the fourth quarter because what was a 10-point lead at the end of the third quarter for your Miami Heat turned into a 14-point loss. How about that? They got outscored 32-8 in the fourth quarter. They lose 115-101. They're 2 games under 500 for the third time this season as the Oklahoma City Thunder just took Miami behind the woodshed. They put a whooping. That wasn't even a whooping. That was a whooping. Number one, it was in Oklahoma, so you have to hick it up. It's a whooping, right? It's a whooping in Oklahoma. They're blaring country music all over that farm town right now after they beat the Heat, but they have a great team in OKC this year. Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, SGA, with a 32-point masterpiece tonight. Look, they lead the league in forced turnovers. They lead the league in steals. They lead the league in deflections. Charges drawn. They're the number one defensive team in the NBA. Yes, they are the Oklahoma City Thunder, and that is why Miami lost tonight. This is your Heat Postcast. Jim Grieshaber, call me Grease, on the Locked On Podcast Network. Your team every day, of course, free, F-R-E-E. Wherever you get your podcast, that would be Stitcher, Podbean. I'm just kidding. It'd be more like Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and iHeart. Although Stitcher and Podbean, you know what I'm saying? Still get there. And wherever else you get your podcast. Then we're free on YouTube and soon to be on OTT. I don't know why I have to say it in that accent, but really cool, right? I feel like Doc Brown coming out of the back room with the science clothes on. Soon to be on OTT. We'll be on Roku, baby. Tegna 1. And you know about the TV stations. Locked On Content, the Locked On Podcast Network. We have the 358 million engagements in the last year. We of your team every day with the Locked On Podcast Network. Having a great time here. Jim Grieshaber, call me Grease, G-R-I-E-S, at Jim Grease _ on social media. Give me a follow, make you holla. Of course, I'm here after every Heat game. Soon to be the Marlins again. Hopefully it won't be as bad as last season. And, last season was a long one. At least we had the trade deadline. And then we could follow all the other teams and see what the former players did. But it's going to be fun to see what the Marlins do this year after the disaster of last year and Skip Schumacher not coming back and the entire fire sale last season and everything. So then football after that. So we're here for the postcast right here on this channel, Locked On Sports Miami on YouTube. Free here as well. All right, 115-101. SGA's the man. If he's not the MVP, I don't know who is, man. I swear to God, look, the OKC was trying to come back into third and have some good play. You're not the number one team in the West, the best defense in the league for no reason, but this dude is a legit MVP candidate. First team NBA 2 years in a row, 3 years in a row, scoring 30 points on 50% shooting, leads the league in scoring, leads the league in steals. Need I say more? Stop giving it to Jokic every damn year. I know Jokic is putting up historic numbers like Wilt Chamberlain, historic like numbers. But he's like Tim Duncan. You just get sick of seeing the guy win it year in and year out when there are great candidates every year. And Jokic is not head and shoulders above everybody else. Luka should have won it last year, I thought. Giannis has one. Luka should have one. Jokic should have one. SGA should have one. It's not like a Jordan era when Jordan should have had every one of them and Malone shouldn't have any. It's not like the era when undeservedly Steve Nash wins 2 while Kobe and Shaq win 1. I want to throw up while I say that. I really want to throw up while those words leave my mouth. Steve Nash won 2, while Kobe and Shaq won 1 each, and Tim Duncan wins 4. That's not MVP equity. Jokic should not be winning all of them in a league where there's Luka. Should have won it last year. SGA, you know what I'm saying? Luka's 5 times in a row All-NBA at 25. He's not an MVP yet. His team made the finals last year. Enough with the Jokic nonsense. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying, even though, Embiid's got one in there, and there's other guys in there. And then this is the era where you should, right? But anyway, Miami doesn't have one. They don't have a guy who's going to win one. They're not close to winning one anytime soon, although D. Wade should have won one in Miami. There's no doubt D. Wade should have won one, and don't count LeBron. But D. Wade should have won one. D. Wade should have won one. And I don't count LeBron because he's not a homegrown Heat guy. And I know guys bounce around and people are saying, hey, Kevin Durant to the Heat sounds great now. To who? To who? I mean, he actually, scoring-wise, would really help this team. But you know what I'm saying? Tyler Hero keeps disappearing lately. So many turnovers back-to-back tonight. Not shooting well from 3. He's an all-star, but is he really? Was he more a product of playing with Jimmy and playing with Bam? And I love Tyler. But is he really an all-star? Trae Young got added and Kyrie got added when Anthony Davis got taken off. Trae Young got added, I forget for who. Giannis on the East. Giannis is out for a while. And they traded Middleton in Milwaukee. You got Kuzma. He doesn't like defense, and he's not really he's one of those, quintessential. And I don't want to diss a whole generation, but you know where I'm going with this. Like, hey, bro, I love everyone. Hey, it's just a game. It's cool. You know what I mean? Hey, let's just have some fun. It's not really a job. It's cool. Anyway, and I shouldn't make fun of anyone, but they can all make fun of me anytime they want to. Look, I'm training MMA. I got my nose busted up. Isn't that a cool story? Yeah, it's not true. Anyway, Jim Grieshaber, call me Grease. 115-101, the final tonight. Jalen Williams was 18. Lou Dort, 17 for the Thunder. 7 in a row for them. They're 44-9, 25-3 at home, 19-1 against the East. And how is Cleveland so legit? They're the only team from the East that's beaten the Thunder, BT Dubs. And SGA had 32 tonight for OKC, a 24-0 run to start the fourth quarter. Now, let me tell you about this fourth quarter. If you, my friend, have ever picked up a basketball, now I'm painting a picture for you, for those of you who are listening, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, iHeart, Stitcher, Podbean, wherever you're getting us free there, soon to be OTT with Roku as well, and then free here on YouTube, Locked On Sports Miami. Shout out to the Locked On Podcast Network. We got merch coming our way for the hosts. We got OTT coming with Roku. We got all kinds of stuff coming your way. But the pressure in the fourth quarter, have you ever been a point guard or a two guard or a wing of any kind? And, even a big, when you come back to help against the press, Oklahoma City's defensive pressure is so intense. Now, I've covered the NBA for a ton of years. I sat courtside back when people used to care about the media. And the Miami Heat has a great media relations department. Always have. Shout out Tim Donovan, Rob Wilson. I think they're both still there, been forever. Anyway, long story long, because, hey, you know how I am. We are literally courtside. I was for the 90s Heat and the Knicks and the hip toss, PJ Brown, Charlie Ward, the brawl in New York, Johnson and Mourning, 2 huge guys and they're slap fighting. Oh my God, get them in an MMA gym. They'd get smoked by a 130-pounder in 5 seconds. Anyway, I digress. Van Gundy hanging on the leg. I was courtside for all that stuff back when media used to be. And it really was awesome to see the 90s Bulls, okay? And the defensive pressure and the intensity in the 90s was like nothing you've ever seen, okay? For you kids, you try dribbling the basketball up the floor, and you literally get beat down the second you cross half court. You're getting poked, you're getting picked, you're getting your eyes poked, you're getting punched, you're getting elbowed, you're getting grabbed, you're getting clutched, you're getting hand checked. You're getting all that in the 90s. And then there were the Bulls, doing all that, even though they didn't need to. When you went to dribble that ball over the half-court line against the 96 through 98 Bulls, and you saw Michael Jordan, and you saw Scottie Pippen, and you saw Dennis Rodman, and you saw Ron Harper, when you saw those 4 pterodactyls waiting just past midcourt, and you're somehow looking like, I got to dribble through these guys, pass the ball around them, over them, but there's no way. They deflect everything. They steal everything. They out-rebound everything. They're quick. They're athletic. They're everywhere. It seems like there are 2 of them, like 10 of them on the floor. You know what I'm saying? Instead of 5, and that's what it's like when Oklahoma City dials up the defensive intensity like they did tonight, man. The way that they – first of all, a bunch of pterodactyls on the floor, but they're in your shirt defensively. They're running stride for stride with you, seemingly getting their hands on every pass, they're limiting you to one shot. They're deflecting everything. They're blocking every other shot you take. They're forcing turnovers. They're drawing charges. It's like they become 10 times quicker, and they're all over the floor, man. And that's what they did to Miami tonight in the fourth quarter. 24-0 run to start it, 32-8 overall. Miami started the quarter 2 of 14 from the floor, turnover after turnover after turnover. Look, that's the way they do it. That's the script on OKC, and it overshadowed a huge game from Bam. 27 points and 15 rebounds for Bam Adebayo. As the new look Heat begin to take shape, what are the new players looking like? Andrew Wiggins, Davion Mitchell, Ryan Anderson. How are the old school guys fitting in? Remember, Jaquez didn't play the other night. Neither did Tyler. We'll update you on that situation as well. We'll tell you all the things the Heat did great tonight in the first half. Remember, we're not here to put the Heat down. We are here to rave about the Oklahoma City Thunder, but we're also here to tell you how great Miami played in the first half. And in the third quarter, when OKC's doing everything they can to go on a run, big shot after big shot from Tyler, a couple of them. Jovic for Miami had a couple of big shots as well. So a nice job holding them off in the third to take a 10-point lead into the fourth. And then I won't say the wheels came off. I'll say they were ripped off, beaten with the tire iron, left for dead on the side of the road, and ran over. How about that? That's what it was in the fourth quarter for Miami against that OKC defense. Jim Grieshaber, call me Grease, Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day. It's the Heat Postcast 115-101 OKC tonight on the road. The Heat lose. They go 2 games under 500 for the third time this season as they will head to Dallas. They are in shambles, by the way. The Mavs with Anthony Davis out, all the injuries they faced, and their GM, Nico Harrison, still facing death threat after death threat for trading Luka Doncic. And I'm not one to say that anyone should face a death threat, but I understand. Remember Chris Rock? I'm not saying I would have done it, but I understand. This is Heat Postcast. I'm proud of myself on the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day. Oh, and I love talking about this company right here. Why my lady loves this. We sit in bed. Literally, I'm not kidding. I am not kidding. We look at this on our phones at night. We pick out patio furniture. We pick out stuff for the house. We pick out all these things that we are going to buy from WayFair. After the holiday hustle, there's nothing, and the rock means nothing, like giving your home a little TLC. I always find that decluttering and refreshing my space, don't laugh, babe, helps me get back into my routine. Whether you're tidying up, whether you're clearing out, or just want to give your space a new look to start the year, WayFair has everything you need, all within your budget. And I love the name, WayFair. Get it? Their way is fair. They have good pricing. They have great stuff. I'm currently looking for furniture, and their huge selection when I'm sitting in bed with my girl at night makes it easy to find pieces that fit my style and my budget as the Locked On Podcast Network continues to explode, and I feel like the luckiest guy on earth to be here from almost the beginning. But my favorite part about WayFair, the free and hassle-free delivery. Not only is it free, it's hassle-free, even for the larger items. WayFair's site was so easy to navigate. I find everything I need in no time at all. And if I don't find it, my lady finds it. Trust me, she's got 100,000 things in her cart. Right now, there's something for every style and every home, no matter your space or budget. That's true. WayFair makes it easy to tackle your New Year's home goals with endless inspiration for every space. And what's your style of decor? Me, I like the modern. I like the contemporary. Why do you pick these items? Why do you love them? Hey, it makes you feel good when you walk into your house. Feng shui. Did WayFair ever help you out in a crunch? If they haven't, it's time for you to get in line and take notice of WayFair. Give your home the refresh it needs with WayFair. Head to wayfair.com right now. That's WayFair.com. WayFair. Every style, every home. Ooh, I'm not kidding about WayFair, though. I am not kidding about WayFair. My wife actually really loves it, and I just called her my wife, and she's sitting right here, and let's see if she's smiling. She's actually smiling when I said that. Good news. Whew. Dodged a bullet on that one. Bring your girl to work day on the Locked On Podcast Network. WayFair. I love the name. I may have just gotten that. But keep in mind, get it? WayFair. Everything's fair about it. Get it? But you're looking at a guy and listening to a dude who who lived in Arizona for 2.5 years in Scottsdale from 2000 to 02, who lived in Arizona for many, many years after that. And 10 years into my second time living in Phoenix, I finally realized that Camelback Mountain is shaped like a camel, and that's why it's called Camelback Mountain, because it has two. Never mind. Yeah, I'm that guy. So don't put too much stock in anything I say that's not related to sports, because like my dad used to say, you're lucky you know that because you don't know about anything else. And he could have been right. I know a thing or two about a thing or two, including Oklahoma City, because I've been through it. And that's my only thing that I would admit to with Oklahoma City is that, I hooked up with a girl from there on spring break in South Padre Island, and I drove through it twice. So there you have it. And the girl was fine. You know what I'm saying? And she was literally in South Padre Island on spring break from Oklahoma City. And then I drove through it twice, and there was a giant silo, I believe, that said it's the home of Garth Brooks, but that might have been one of those other redneck cities in Oklahoma. 115-101, the Heat lose to the Thunder on the road tonight. They play Dallas on the road tomorrow. Then they're off for 8 days because of the All-Star break. And the All-Star thing is just but good for Tyler Hero. Good for Tyler. And Bam Adebayo is playing like an all-star right now. Don't forget, still to come, we have the final score graphic. We have the turning point of the game. We have your stars of the show. The star. I don't know if it's the rock in here. Give you that triangle, all right? But Jim Grieshaber, call me Grease, GRIES, at Jim Grease _ on social media. Again, a 14-point loss for Miami. They led by 10 at the end of three quarters. They led by 10 at the end of three quarters. They were balling out of control until SGA just decided, like, yo, you in my gym, bro. Like, I'm done toying with you, and that's going to be the end of that. So while you're here, I see the numbers rising. Come on up for the rise. And that guarantees Pat Riley will watch. Remember, 3 things I always say: death, taxes, and don't doubt Pat Riley. Those are your 3. 100% cut yourself and bleed for it. You know what's happening in life. Death, taxes, and the greatness of Pat Riley. Come on up for the rise. And I think this Heat team's going to rise. I do. Like, we've been spoiled, right? We had the Heatles. We had the Shaq D. Wade years with all the vets, with Walker and Gary Payton and all them dudes. And we had even the Tim Hardaway, Alonzo Mourning. A lot of heartbreak in those years, but come on, you weren't beating the Jordan Bulls anyway. I say the worst heartbreak was the Allen Houston shot the first year of the arena. But other than that, it's been great since Pat Riley came to town, and the numbers are just exploding right now. So while you're here, come on up for the rise. And if you don't mind, hey, we love it. Thank you so much. Please subscribe while you're here. Hit that bell so you know when we're coming your way with more content, and come on in the chat and say hi. Again, a 14-point loss for Miami. Let's hit the box score and the team stats before we get you ready for that final segment. Real quick, make sure I didn't miss anything in the recap here. No, SGA 32, Jalen Williams 18, Lou Dort. I love his name, Lou Dort, L-U-D-O-R-T. Lou Dort. Sounds like an athlete. Sounds like a monster, actually. 17 for the Thunder, like a superhero. Like, you should be maybe even a villain. Like Lex Luthor joins forces with Lou Dort. Maybe not. Anyway, 44-9 for the Thunder. They've won 7 in a row, 25-3 at home, 19-1 versus the East. Oklahoma City never led. They never led. They were down 10 at the end of the third quarter. They started the fourth on a 24-0 run. They finished it 32-8. It's the third time this year that Miami has scored single digits in the fourth quarter. But I'll say this, they looked really good for 3. They looked really good for 3. Bam Adebayo with a monster game. 27 points and 15 boards for Bam. Bam, bam, bam. You got to love it when the big man plays like that. The captain, El Capitan, we don't need you, Jimmy Butler. But we do need Tyler Hero to play like an all-star. See that? I rhymed it. Like, we don't need another hero. We don't need you, Jimmy Butler. But they do need Andrew Wiggins to step up and score more and do more. I'm going to talk more about the new guys in the final segment of the show. Tease. Anyway, Andrew Wiggins, 13 points, second game with the Heat. He's not really the most consistent dude in the world, and he's feeling his way through it. And Miami dominating the first half, scored at will against OKC's defense. And that's really, I think, the most promising thing about this game is OKC's defense is incredible. When they cranked it up in the fourth, it was another level, man. I very rarely in 30-plus years of covering this league have seen a defense that quick, that adaptive. They are like an amoeba, man. They are just killing it. They're like Alex Bregman headed to the Red Sox. Breaking news. All right, from the Astros, and that's baseball, just in case you were wondering. But Miami shot almost 60% in the first half. I'm looking for positives here. They led by 10 at the end of the third quarter, but they were held scoreless for nearly 6 minutes of the fourth. One of the most suffocating defensive performances like pillow over the face when you're fast asleep, suffocating that defense. And I played point. I mean, obviously, I'm not even 6 feet. Trying to dribble through a press like that with pterodactyls all over the floor. And then you get the ball into the offensive zone and they pressure the ball relentlessly. They clog the passing lanes aggressively. Their arms are everywhere. They look like octopi out there. It's absolutely incredible. Could I describe it any better? I don't know. Let me know in the comments. And by the way, please subscribe, hit the bell while you're here. You're hanging out anyway, having a great time right here on the YouTube channel, Locked On Sports Miami. You can also catch us free like you do here on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, iHeart, wherever you get your podcasts, as a matter of fact. And soon, Jack, OTT, baby, we'll be on Roku. We are going to be on Roku. But OKC, that's their thing. That's their jam. They win in the second half. They erase deficits. They have second half comeback after second half comeback after second half comeback all year long. They have that depth. You know what I'm saying? The defensive intensity. But SGA hitting the threes, the rips, the makes. He's just unbelievable, man. 13 of 23 they shot in the fourth quarter, and Miami made 3 of 18. There's your ball game. A masterpiece of a road basketball performance put on by the Miami Heat for 3 quarters. I'll say that. I am confidently and comfortably saying that. But then the wheels fall off. We're going to rock it till the wheels fall off. Nate Dogg, come on. You guys know. It's a musical show. Not really. It's Heat Postcast on the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day. Also the Locked On, I can pronounce the K, Jim. It's okay. The Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day. Jim Grieshaber, call me Grease, G-R-I-E-S, at Jim Grease _ on social media. The players of the game, the turning point, the final score graphic, the team stats, and a whole lot more as we get ready to head out the door with your Heat Postcast on the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day, 115-101. The Thunder, na. You bet. Thunderstruck. So is everybody else this year. Deal with it. Finishing it up on the other side of another outstanding deal from another impeccable sponsor of ours. Let's go. Yeah, baby, telling you about OpenPhone. And I run a small business. This show's a small business. I'm a contractor, for crying out loud. And running a small business means you're wearing a lot of hats. And yeah, I get excited. It's my life, man. It's like another child. I have 3 kids. This is my 4th. Your personal phone becomes your business phone. Who am I talking to? And before you know it, you're juggling customer calls day and night. And as your team grows, it becomes impossible to manage everything with just your personal number. Your girl's calling you, interrupting your videos all day. That's where OpenPhone comes in. It's the #1 business phone system. Don't look at me like that. Designed to help you keep your work and personal life separate. And they should be separate, right? At least if you want to succeed in each, by the way. All right. For just $15 a month, the cost of a few coffees. I don't know where they're getting those coffees. I need to go get some of those because, wow, a few. Really. Anyway, I digress. You get complete transparency and visibility into everything happening with your business phone number. OpenPhone works through an open app on your phone or computer and integrates with tools like HubSpot and hundreds of others. It also uses AI-powered call transcripts and summaries, so you'll have a rundown of your calls and action items the second you hang up. And if you miss a call, no problemo. Automated messages sent directly to your customer, ensuring you never miss an opportunity to engage. And that's what life is all about as a business person, as an entrepreneur, even as a hustler. Right now, OpenPhone is offering 20% off your first 6 months when you go to openphone.com/LockedOnNBA. That's OpenPhone.com. OpenPhone.com/LockedOnNBA for 20% off 6 months. OpenPhone.com/LockedOnNBA. And if you have existing numbers with another service, OpenPhone will port them over at no extra charge. Bam. Had to say Bam again. Bam with a great game tonight, man. You know, he'll tease you once in a while, and he'll play like this. This is Bam that made the Olympic team. This is Bam that's a star, that's a captain. Look, Bam should average 25. I'm not getting off that thought. I'm not getting off that topic. Throw it in the comments if you want to rip me for it. He's 11. What was he? 11 of 17 from the floor. We got to hit the stats. We got to hit the team statistics, the box score, and then we got to hit the stars of the game, the turning point, and the box. This is Heat Postcast on the Locked On Podcast Network. Your team every day, free right after the game. You got the Heat podcast every day, too. Those guys do a fantastic job. They have the newsletter as well. Oh, man, I remembered. They're going to be very happy with me. Your favorite podcast now has a newsletter introducing the Locked On Heat Daily Newsletter. One stop for ultimate Heat and NBA league coverage delivered right to your inbox. Sign up for free now at LockedOnDaily.com. That's LockedOnDaily.com. Man, I'm in the zone tonight. Start your day with the all-new free Locked On Heat newsletter. Let's hope I can finish better than the Heat did tonight after those 3 quarters of brilliance with the 83-73 lead at OKC. That's not right. It was 93-83 because it ended up being 115-101 and they outscored them 30. You see how fast I did that math? University of Miami, what's up to the U? I can't believe I just said it like that. Ruined the whole bit. But anyway, thank you for being here. Really appreciate you. Please subscribe while you're here. Help the boy out and the network out. We're killing it. Monsters on the sports landscape right now. And while you're here as well, you can hit that bell so you get notified when we come your way with more content. Free, by the way, on Locked On. Did I say free? On Locked On Sports Miami and wherever you get your podcast. And if you're listening, you're missing all this handsomeness right here. But soon, have no fear, Grease will be here on Roku. That was terrible. I look like Grease. Anyway, my whole face is shiny. But we have to get to the box scores and we have to get to these things. Stop distracting me. Shh, come on. What are you doing? Anyway, all right. For your Miami Heat, Bam Adebayo, 27-15 tonight. Great job for Bam. 11 of 19 from the floor. 3 of 4 from 3. That's a career night for Bam beyond the arc, right? So 27-15 for Bam. He threw in 4 assists as well. Remember, he had to completely change his game and adapt to Jimmy being gone, playing together all that time. Bam high circle with Jimmy. Bam pick and roll with Jimmy. It just doesn't happen overnight. And remember, Wiggins, without Jimmy missed a lot of games and there was no Wiggins. So Bam got used to having nobody there. You know what I mean? You're not running pick and rolls with Haywood Highsmith for crying out loud. So 27-15 for Bam. Wiggins with 13, 4 rebounds, 1 of 5 from 3, 4 of 12 from the field. So far with Miami, has not shot the ball well. That will improve, at least if he plays to his numbers historically and this season, as we've been talking about. 14 points apiece for Davion Mitchell and Tyler Hero. Tyler 5 of 12 and then 1 for 6 from 3. He's got to shoot the ball 20 plus times. We know this. Mitchell 6 of 10 and 2 of 5 had 14. Pretty good game. Second time out for him. You give him a B plus tonight with Wiggins maybe a C plus, C, maybe a straight C. The new guys coming in. And let's see, Kyle Anderson did not play. Coach's decision. Kevin Love did not play. Personal reasons. Duncan Robinson has the stomach illness, did not play. Rozier, stomach illness, did not play. Jaquez did not play again. Had the stomach illness yesterday and that Tyler had a couple days ago, rather. So the bugs going around, right? The bugs going around, and it was Duncan Robinson and it was Rozier. And they could have used Rozier tonight against that OKC pressure in the fourth quarter. And he's been shooting the ball better as well lately and taking the ball to the cup. So definitely missed Terry tonight. Kel'el Ware, 7 points, 6 rebounds in 24 minutes. The project continues for the 7-1 former Big Ten Defensive Player of the Year from Indiana, the rookie Kel'el Ware. Eric Reed says Khalil. John Crotty says Kel'el. By the way, when I close my eyes, I feel like I'm listening to Dr. Jack Ramsey when I hear John Crotty. I love Dr. Jack Ramsey. When I was first coming to the league, I used to sit and talk to him for a long time. He's like Dick Vitale. Each guy would sit and talk to me. I'd tell him my dreams, what I wanted out of life, the business. Dr. Jack used to swim across like the whatever it is over there on the west coast of Florida. First of all, he used to drive back and forth to the Heat games from either Fort Myers or Naples. I think it was Naples, but he used to swim in the bay over there every day in like his 70s, 80s. He lived into his 90s. Dr. Jack Ramsey. Shout out to the legend, Dr. Jack. So the Heat bench, Jovic with 11, Burks with 11. He's been coming on lately, like his play of late. Larson with 3 and Highsmith with 1. Larson hit a 3-pointer. Hey, Haywood Highsmith hit a free throw. What do you know? And for OKC, it was Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, 32 points, 9 assists, 5 boards for him. 18 points and 6 boards for Jalen Williams, 17 points for Lou Dort, 7 of 10 shooting, 2 of 5 for 3, 14 points for Williams off the bench. Joe had 10 off the bench, including 3 3-pointers as well. Team stats real quick as we come up on the end of the show for the Thunder. 43 of 88, 48.9% for the Heat. 36 of 79, 45.6%. 3-pointers, 11 for 34 for Miami, 15 to 39 for OKC. I don't know why I'm even reading these. It was all about the fourth quarter. The stats really don't tell the tale of the game, except when you look at a couple of things the turnovers. Miami had 16, OKC had 13. Miami had like 9 in the fourth quarter. And that is, and then the fast break points doubled up for OKC 20-10. Point paints OKC by 4, 50-46. And largest lead 21 for Miami, 14 for Oklahoma City, which, in case you weren't paying attention, is the margin of victory, which brings me back to full circle in the world. Full circle, right? 115-101. They win by how many? 14. That's their largest lead. They didn't have the lead until the fourth quarter. They were down 10 heading into the fourth. So Miami shot the ball well. They were patient on offense. They made the extra pass. They played suffocating defense. They rebounded. They limited them to one shot. The way they played for the first 3 quarters of this game, they gave us a little peek at what they could be. And remember, there was no Duncan Robinson tonight. There was no Jaquez tonight. You know what I'm saying? There was no Terry Rozier tonight either. And these are all very good players, obviously. But I'm so looking forward to seeing this team gel and mesh together. We still haven't seen this all-new version together yet. What if Duncan plays great with Wiggins and so forth? You know what I'm saying? You got all these things coming together right now for the Heat. 115-101, the Thunder win. And I think they're going to be all right. Everything going to be all right. I think Miami's going to be okay. I really do. I like the way Wiggins will fit in. I really, Anderson's not going to play much. Mitchell's going to be huge for them if he can continue to shoot and score like this. It might, with he and Rozier and Tyler and Duncan, and Jovic at the small forward spot with Wiggins. That's an embarrassment of riches for Spo on the perimeter. That's a lot of defensive pressure. That's a lot of good ball movement and passing and shooting and all sorts of things coming from those wings and the points, right? So you have the point and the wings. That's going to be a nice group. And then you go down low and you got Bam and Kel'el Ware. You got those towers down there. So I think that's going to be fun for Spo as well. And then I forgot Alec Burks. He's been coming on strong as well. Another scorer off the bench. You could come in, get hot, give you 8 points in a quarter. And trust me, that will probably happen at some point moving forward. I don't know if it's going to happen tomorrow in Dallas when they play the Mavs, but look at the injuries there. Anthony Davis already out for the Mavs. They want to run Nico Harrison out of town for trading Luka Doncic for AD, and man, it's a franchise in upheaval. They're already pissed off because the Cowboys have sucked for 30 years. I mean, it's not a good time to be a Dallas sports fan. It's literally suicide watch in the Big D right now as the Heat head in with a good chance to pick up this road win. And look, they don't want to go back to 3 games under 500. They're at 2 under for the 3rd time this season, and they need to win a game to get back to within a game. And then they have an 8-day break. With the new players, with all the injuries they've had, what a godsend to have the All-Star break right now. And even without Tyler, right, that'll just strengthen them even more. But it just goes to show you with trades and roster transitions and things like that in the NBA, how hard it is to get a team together. Now imagine, Tyler and Jaquez were out last game. Tonight, Jaquez is out again. Duncan's out. Rozier's out. Before that, it was Wiggins and Anderson and Mitchell hadn't been cleared and ready to play yet. The trade hadn't completely gone through. So this team has not even practiced together as a whole yet. Think about that. And they got 8 days to do it. They got 8 days to do it coming up after the game tomorrow night. So Spo and Bam and Tyler and company, Miami Heat players, Jim Grieshaber, call me Grease, host of your Heat Postcast on the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day, free on YouTube and wherever you get your podcast. I implore you to get that dub in Dallas tomorrow night. Do what the universe has been doing already. Whoop up on them Mavs, get that W, get to within a game under 500, and then you have 8 days to practice together before you play again with 3 new players, with all the injuries, with everything that's gone on. Jimmy Butler gets further and further in the rearview mirror, the player and the saga. You know what I mean? The whole diva routine and all that nonsense. Further and further in the rearview, and you get 8 days to ball so hard and get ready for that stretch run. And I think the Heat are a middle-of-the-pack team in the East, maybe higher. Can you take me higher than the number 3 seed? I don't know, because you got the Celtics, you got the Cavs, and you got the Knicks. That's going to be a tough one, right? And Philly could get they scare the crap out of me with Embiid and Maxey and Paul George if they all start to play and stop whining and play as a team. And oh, Lord, the East could get good. But it'll be fun. We'll be here tomorrow night after the Mavs game. Then we have an 8-day break. Don't forget Heat Podcast every day and the Heat newsletter, LockedOnDaily.com. postcast.com for all your Heat and NBA news delivered to your inbox every single day. We are here after every Miami Heat game with your postcast. I'm Jim Grieshaber. Call me Grease, Gries, at Jim Grease _ on social media. And we really love doing this for you. The network has been growing. We started doing shows just covering your team every day, and it became every team in every league, and then it became the leagues, and then it became the cities, and then we added YouTube, and now we're adding OTT. We are going to be on Roku. That is, and before you know it, we're also going to be selling merch. This network literally taking over the sports world while everybody else is sleeping. Locked On, be creeping. Jim Grieshaber, call me Grease, 115-101. The final score tonight, the Oklahoma City Thunder with a 32-8 fourth quarter turned a 10-point deficit into a 14-point win, but never fear. The new guys are here. They practiced together for 8 days, coming up after the game at Dallas tomorrow night, after which we will be here with your postcast. That's all there is, Heat fan. There is no more. A 14-point loss, 115-101. We'll talk to you tomorrow night. Until then, keep your game tight and your mind right, Miami. We are...